Right, how we doing, chat? As well, welcome if you are new around here. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and put your bell notification on as well. Been a slight little change to the channel name as well, everyone. So if you're wondering who's this, there will be going into next season. There will be a couple of changes on the channel. I'm trying to improve it going into next year. Hopefully, get a lot more guests on as well. And if you'd like to jump on, the more the merrier. And a massive thank you to every single one of you. If I've been on your show or you've been on mine as well, really do appreciate it. It's been an absolute tremendous season. Could have been better, I think 100%. Obviously, of the disappointments in terms of the Champions League football. It's difficult really, but we go into next season strong, and obviously the amazing support, not just in Liverpool as we've seen with the parade, but globally from the Liverpool fan base as well. But and as I said, if you are new around here, smash that subscribe button as well. And the American Scouts at TV, thank you very much for tuning in, fella. Really do appreciate it. And obviously on tonight's talking points anyway, as the video gets uploaded going into the night or early morning if you are watching, I will be bookmarking the talking points in which we will be discussing most importantly. But it's going to be a massive summer in relation to Liverpool's attacking options. We've seen over the last 48 hours, and obviously we've seen Sadio Mane's pre-match comments going into Real Madrid as well. If Bayern probably will play hardball, but as I was speaking to Jamie and the great lads on his channel tonight, if you haven't seen it, Liz or some of the mods, if you can, drop the link into Jamie's chat anyway. If not, I will be putting it in the description as well. A cracking show the lads have done tonight, discussing all things Liverpool in relation to our potential striker / centre forward or Liverpool's attacking options, and Sadio Mane, beating around the bush really, he's been absolutely phenomenal for Liverpool in every aspect, and he's that one player in terms of when we have looked at Liverpool, when we have won finals or if we missed out on a couple of finals, he's always that one player that will always rise to the occasion. And the fact that we are potentially going into next season with the possibility of losing him to Bayern Munich for whether that's 35 million, 45 million plus anyway, we need to identify that in terms of the statistical analysis point of view, in terms of Julian Ward anyway. Michael Edwards leaving in the summer, but Julian Ward, as we've seen, and Liverpool's recruitment has been very much second to none, and we all know that. And we're very fortunate in terms of when we have brought in a player, about one miss in terms of Ox. It really hasn't hit the ground running, the player in which we bought, and hopefully we wanted a bit more. Naby with his injuries, but the large majority of Liverpool signings under Jurgen Klopp have been absolutely phenomenal. Huge success in terms of transfers. But Sadio Mane, there's no doubt, and we will heavily miss him if he does go to Bayern or if he does stay for the next 12 months and sees out his remainder of his contract as well. Reds, hit that subscribe button down below as well. Really do appreciate if you could share the stream out wherever you are watching as well. If you're watching on the repeat, let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below, most importantly. But Sadio Mane, as I said, in that Liverpool's attacking striker centre forward options going to next season. Chat, let us know if you are watching on the repeat. Lewandowski and Harry Kane, in reality, are two of, if not two of the world's best attacking forwards in where the goals and the assists. I bring up obviously in terms of if you haven't seen it, FB Ref is a tremendous site anyway, and you look and analyse in relation to obviously Liverpool and the goals in relation to the whole of European football. But we'll have a quick look in Sadio Mane in relation to this season and statistically in which he does offer in terms of the top 5 leagues, non-penalty goals. He's in the 96% percentile, which is one of the best in European football as well. NXP as well, expected goals, total shots as well versus attacking / wingers in world football. But as you can see there, in the big 5 leagues across Europe, and you try and analyse similar players within European football as well. They've compared him to obviously Luis Diaz, and you can understand why Liverpool have very much brought the Colombian into the football club in terms of Luis Diaz. He's got age on the side. Sadio Mane will be playing at the elite level of European football for the next 3-4 years. And it'd be a disappointment to see him go to Bayern, because I tell you what, he will do absolutely tremendous for the Bundesliga champions. And the main thing about Sadio Mane's game, and which we all know and love, his goals in knockout football are so pivotal, not just for Liverpool, but for Senegal as well in terms of an international stage. But obviously, Martin Terrier as well as Rennes this season, he's been in an absolute tremendous form for Rennes this season. I think they just about missed out on a top 3 finish in Ligue 1, but I'm not to say I've seen him, but in terms of when you analyse his stats and his numbers this season, he's been up there in relation to obviously Toko Ekambi, the Cameroon forward, wide player anyway for Lyon. He was in excellent form for his national side in the African Cup of Nations just gone as well. So let me know your thoughts, everyone. It's going to be interesting. I wish I knew all the answers, and wish all of us knew the answers, but from a data analysis point of view, in terms of not just Liverpool, but the top clubs, it's all about if you can try and bring in, you can aim to get a top elite level play in the door, like i.e. Harry Kane or a Lewandowski, but it's when you look at the typical Moneyball strategy that FSG used to deploy pre-Jurgen Klopp, but now we brought in Thiago, and you analyse it and go, if you can bring in a player for at least 24-month period, 38-month period in relation, and you can guarantee your goals and you can guarantee your titles. Because for me, the way I look at it, if we were to bring in, I will get to all your chats as well. Really do appreciate everyone. Thank you, absolute bloody legends. If we were to bring in, i.e. Lewandowski, and when you look at it in terms of a statistical point of view, they've FBref on this website as well, they've compared Christopher Nkunku, and when you analyse his stats as well, he's been in absolutely tremendous form in terms of this season. And from a pressing point of view, when you look at the data, he's probably one of, if not one of the best players in terms of when he does press high up the pitch in relation to when he does play for RB Leipzig, and he's got a massive future for the French national side as well. I think he was on the books of Paris Saint-Germain at the early age anyway. I'm not so sure if 100% if he did come through the academy. But similar numbers in relation to this season, the last year. Obviously, they compare him to Mohamed Salah, Phil Foden as well, Heung-min Son, but you only have to look at statistics in relation to the top 5 leagues as well. Christopher Nkunku, non-penalty goals, 99th percentile compared to midfielders / wingers in world football. Shot total, not the best really, but his assists. And you compare, obviously, his statistic point of view, as I was mentioning, the possession and the press in relation to your attack and forwards. You have to look at in relation to the progressive passes recorded. He's in 99%. That's absolutely phenomenal. He's in that 1% in world football, which is absolutely tremendous. Aerial duels won. He's in the 85th percentile in European football. For concerns for someone similar to Jota, a player, he does offer you that versatility in terms of the air as well. But let me know your thoughts on this, chat. Not just Liverpool, but a lot of clubs going into next season. It will be pivotal. Will it be a Fabinho type transfer where it just comes out with the blue, or will it be a more renowned name within European football that Liverpool do look to scout as well? And I've got Lewandowski's stats up as well. Darwin Nunez, Harry Kane as well, and obviously we'll have a little look in terms of the top 5 leagues, goal output and creative wise. when we do look at all the data anyway, have a quick look at that in a bit as well. But hi, Liz. How you doing, Maisie, as well? Keep smashing the shows as well, Maisie. I've been watching, just as you can tell, been a bit groggy. I'm still recovering. So yeah, apologies about the voice. Bloody sung me little lungs out anyway this weekend. Shame we lost the final. But we move. Hey, but Maisie, keep smashing it as well. And everyone, if you are doing your content, absolutely made up. And thank you, as I said, if you have been on my channel this season, everyone, or have been on your shows, every single one is non-Liverpool. And I know it was like Ant in the chat as well. And everyone, I really do appreciate you having me on your show. And it's going to be a massive season, not just for Liverpool, but for everyone going into next season. The recruitment, everyone gets excited about transfers. I enjoy talking about transfers, but I'm so happy when the transfer window shuts. I am so happy just so we can just focus on football in reality, because you wake up and there's a new rumour every single day. But Willow, how you doing? Hello, Jack, as well. Thank you for tuning in. And I really appreciate the support and obviously the post-match. And as I said, you can be down, and quite rightly so. You can be down on this season. You've gone from a quad to winning 2 trophies, and considering how poor Real Madrid did play, they took their one chance within a game and they win. That's football. But this is a massive point. If Liverpool can, and as I said on a couple of, I think it was Jamie's show this week, if we have a Lewandowski up front against Real Madrid this weekend, we come away from that game with our 7th European trophy, European Cup anyway, and that's facts. If you had a Lewandowski sniffing around that Real Madrid defence on Saturday, Lewan buries at least 1 or 2 of those chances. Whether that ball ricochets within a box or whatnot, he's got that movement and ability, similar to Kane as well. The elite level forwards within Europe, they create chances out of nothing. We all seen Luis Suarez at Liverpool. Regardless of what you think, he was a tremendous world-class player on a football pitch. He could skip by 4, 5, 6 players on his own and put the ball on the back of the net, which is probably one of the hardest things to do in football, as we all know. And it is FB Ref, if you're wondering, if you are doing your channels as well. It's really interesting. Owen from the Cop on, my good mate, he brought it to my attention this season. But it's very good if you are doing your shows. Just sit back at night. You can compare and contrast players as well. But obviously the bigger percentile in relation to a player's statistics over the last year. You can deem it by, you can go back by a year, or you can go back even further. It's a tremendous resource for anyone if you're doing content or just want to just have a little look in terms of statistics wise. Sometimes the most important statistic on Saturday was the scoreline, as we all know. But I'll quickly. Yeah, FB Ref, everyone. And let me know if you can't find it, mate. I'll drop you on Twitter, in the Twitter DMs after the show, mate. How you doing, Rod, as well? You absolute bloody legend. Thank you for tuning in, mate. As you can say, me voice. Then I need subtitles by the end of the night. My voice will be even gone as well. Maisie saying hello to Liz. Evening, Jack. Evening, Tom. Evening, everyone. Hope you are all doing well as well. Most importantly, Tom and every single one is. Hope you're all having a lovely weekend. Let me know what you've been up to. If you haven't, if you've tried to take your mind off, obviously, the result this weekend, let me know. Could Jota play as a striker, centre forward, then look at a winger as well? It'd be interesting, Maisie. I floated the idea of potentially playing, as we've seen, I think it was like 1 year in which Salah did play through the middle. As well, or within certain games, Salah can play through the middle. Jota, I think chat, let us know. I'm more bothered about what you think anyway. Every single one is Jota, if he can, and he's been in tremendous form this season. But when it's not Salah, Mane, the back end post AFCON, we all know Sadio did step up, and certain players within Liverpool's team did step up as well. It'd be interesting, Maisie. As I said, probably if Mane does leave 100%, you probably would see Jota play down the middle. But sometimes within this season and even at Wolves as well, And that was something that was questioned at his time at Wolves, and he's still a young player, 24, 25 years old as well. Still got a lot of time to develop, and it's all part of his development as a player. But this season, especially the back end of the season, kind of phased out. And even when he come on Saturday, I don't think it was Jota's fault. I think it was an accumulation in reality of a lot of factors going into the game against Real Madrid. On when we hit the 60th minute mark, we were flat out on our feet. I was speaking to Jay and the lads on his show. As I say, everyone, make sure you do check it out. It was a cracking video as well, speaking to all the lads, absolute bloody legends. And the fullbacks, Saturday, we needed a bit more. Real Madrid, the masters of the dark arts, and you got to hold your hands up. That's what wins titles. The slowing down of the tempo as well. But there was something missing on Saturday. I don't know how you feel as well. Let me know, chat. I was like, come on, just if Salah's not start hitting the ground running, if it's not Mane banging in a crucial winner or an equaliser or whatnot, you look at that team, and if it's not Jota as well, where are the goals coming from? If it's not Diaz done absolutely phenomenal this season in the Portuguese league. I think he got about 16, 17 goals, which would be tremendous. And if once Diaz learns English and learns Scouse as well, he'll take the instructions on board. And especially if we do spread out our goals in terms of, obviously, Diaz, say he gets 10 to 15 goals in the Premier League next season, be tremendous. That kind of would replace Sadio Mane's goal output. What you got with Sadio Mane was a guaranteed performance and guaranteed goals, and that's what you would get with those two or any other recognised out and out number 9. And I know, and we all know, there's not a lot of world class strikers like those two lads behind us, because Haaland, he will improve City, but it's down to Liverpool. But interesting. I think he probably will do, Maisie. But for me, we'll have a little look at Darwin Nunez as well. I was sat at Anfield this season, and you all probably watched that game as well. And I was like, this lad's absolutely battering us. I mean, it's been a while since I've been sat at Anfield over the last couple of years when I've been in the game and everything. And I'm like this lad. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I've seen a lot of Portuguese football, because I haven't. But that 90 minutes at Anfield was like, that takes a lot of doing. Not many players or not many strikers in world football come to Anfield and have the game. I think he had like 2 or 3 offside goals within that game as well. And what you don't want to be in put in a position as well is if he does leave Benfica in the next couple of years, you don't want to be like, oh, what if we just put a bid in? Because you never know. Could be another Haaland where he goes to Dortmund and performs very well. 2-3 years down the line, you're like, oh. And then Nunez's price tag is valued at like, 150 million by whatever club he would potentially be at 2-3 years down the line. But for me, if it wasn't those two, I'd go out and get Darwin Nunez, really, because he's got a lot of attributes that would very much suit Liverpool in terms of he's pacey, his build-up play is really good. I'll get his stats up in a little second as well in terms of the plays in which his similarities within European football in terms of how he performs within a game. Get to all your comments, most importantly, as well. Jose, absolute bloody legends. Most importantly, every single one he is absolute legends. And I will be trying to get a proper schedule out everyone. Apologies, what time am I on? 12 at midnight. But been looking after you, Dad, and I've been on a couple of shows as well. But let me know in the comments if you're watching on repeat, what is the best possible time as well, and more easier schedule for everyone, because I know a lot of people do stream as well. So there's that many bloody great content creators out there. Everyone's live streaming at the same time. So I will try to, as I said, will be a couple of changes on the channel, more regular schedule as well, and it's more easy for everyone. And most importantly, even if you want to start talking points and debates, we can do that as well. Most importantly, I'd much rather you set the talking points and really get more discussion on the channel as well. But Jose, I'm still devastated from Saturday, mate. How do I get over it, Jose? Don't watch the highlights, fella. I've not even watched the highlights. The game was just so ingrained within my mind, mate. I was like, as soon as they got their goal, I knew game over. Like, and even Liverpool's slowness in relation to our subs, you just knew, as I said before, that the typical Spanish European champions, they are the creme de la creme of Champions League. They've been there, done that. Been there, done that. I know we've won the Champions League 6 times, but and you watch the games against City, the games against Chelsea, the games against PSG. That's not luck. I know they play in moments within games, but from a tactical sense, Ancelotti hit the nail on the head in terms of Liverpool's game as well. If he played fast, expansive football against Liverpool, that Real Madrid team would have been absolutely opened up. And the amount of chances we did have, but in terms of out-and-out clear-cut chances, there was one or two. Obviously, Mane at the post as well, Courtois. But, yeah, don't watch the highlight shows, that's all I'm saying, mate. But we will be back. Jose, I don't know if you were subscribed to my channel when we did get beat in 2018. I was adamant on my post-match. As I said, I wasn't too down in the dumps in reality in that European competition because I knew, and I said on that video, and I'll probably say it again tonight, this won't be the last time Liverpool are in the European final. The main fact is Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp's going nowhere for the next 4 years in reality, and this squad it's got a lot of world-class players within every single position. Yes, as I mentioned, Haaland's going to City, massively improved them. And the main reason probably why they've signed him is because of Champions League, what he will offer them in European knockout games as well. When you've got a ball getting crossed across City's 6-yard line going to next season, Haaland will bang that in straight away. He's so good in terms of movement in between the two centre-halves, as we've seen over the last couple of years, even his time at Salzburg as well. He's so good. So good. So, yeah, Jose, don't watch the highlights. Just watch the parade, Jose. That's it. Yeah, as well, chat. Got any? Watch the parade, mate, and watch, and even everyone in the comment section below and people around the world. Yeah, we'll be back, and we'll be back winning titles again next season. But yeah, big yourself up, mate, as well. Don't be too down in dumps as well, Reds, because we'll be back, and we'll be back absolutely flying next season. Tell you that now. The problem isn't with buying the most talented striker. The problem is being too visible. Might suggest buying a completely cheap and untalented striker and investing in cloaking technology. Rod, tell you what, was the Incredibles fella. Oh yeah, it's mad in it, Rod, and we've seen obviously Chelsea in terms of their recruitment. Regardless, absolute shambles of an ownership in reality of off the field. But they've been, I think Luke was saying at the weekend when he come down, don't know how accurate it was, probably hit the nail on the head. But chat, was Mbappe supposedly on the books of Chelsea when he was younger? Might be completely wrong, but I'm blaming Luke from the 1892 Reds podcast. Luke, you've watched it, sorry, lad. But if he was, that's absolutely mad, as I said. But yeah, absolute legend, Maisie. Thank you for your support. Big up Mike as well. FB Ref as well. Every one of you. Oh, missed you. Okay, once you compare. Yeah, it's probably the best side, really, everyone to do that. I just want to say again, thank you so much for the weekends. Hopefully next season we'll be in a final again, and hopefully it will be me, you, Connor, yeah, all the lads as well. And hopefully I do see a lot more YouTube mates in person as well. Obviously, Jamie, obviously, Jay, if you're watching or if you're watching repeat, mate, look after yourself, fella, and thank you for allowing me to come on your show, mate. It's good to not to see you, but obviously family comes first, and obviously health comes first as well, mate, as well. So we'll appreciate it, Jay. Absolute legends. And we'll be seeing a lot of you, hopefully, very soon as well. Absolute bloody legends. Lewis, it's more or less a foregone conclusion, mate. Obviously, in the next couple, unless something miraculous happened, Lewis, the only thing that potentially would have swayed Sadio Mane's mind, I don't think it will, because we've all seen the interviews We've all seen the interviews of Bobby Firmino in relation to how outwards and wanting to sign a contract. Bobby wants to stay at the football club, but I think it more or less will be done at a foregone conclusion, Lewis, anyway. Obviously, you believe in all the press. Obviously, we'd all love Sadio to sign a new deal, and I'd be absolutely buzzing. I would be on bloody cloud nine, because Mane is probably he is my favourite Liverpool player. As much as I love Salah and Alisson and Van Dijk, but I just love Mane. Is where he's come from as well, similar with Salah and a lot of Liverpool players as well in this squad. They've come from a background in which they've worked their absolute backside off. A lot of the players, like a lot of the top elite level European footballers as well, and obviously the African footballers and global footballers anyway, they've worked so hard to get in a position where they have, and obviously they're working with Sadio and Mo, and a lot of players around Europe do so much for where they've come from in terms of the places they grew up, the money they send back as well. It's absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen, I think there's a Sadio Mane documentary on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, chat, I will leave it in the description if I can find it. It's a tremendous documentary. But Sadio, yeah, he is probably he's in my top three. But yeah, no, he is my favourite Liverpool player. I wasn't blessed to grow up in a generation of watching John Barnes. What my dad said, it would have been interesting to see both of them on the wing for Liverpool at the same time, because we're just so blessed. And if Mane did win the Champions League the Saturday just gone, tell you what, he would be in for a shout. And if he is to go to Bayern, I'll tell you what, he will. There's not many players that would replace Robert Lewandowski. Obviously, very different in terms of Sadio's more of a winger, left-sided winger. But as we've seen this season, he can play through the middle, and he's adapted his game, and he can play on the wide right position as well. So, but yeah, Lewis, not 100% there, mate, but potentially will be getting announced very soon. But as I said, I want him to stay, and I think a lot of us do want him to stay. But it's what Sadio Mane wants in reality, and we've all seen those interviews pre-Real Madrid. Didn't look. I'm no body language expert, but it didn't look good in reality. Amazing. But I think Jota should have started and Diaz on the bench. Jota is incredible with his feet and in the air, getting an unbelievable winger, crossing it in as well. Yeah, it's sometimes, and don't get me started on the corners, everyone. You see him on my post-match, Christ. we couldn't take a corner for our life against Real Madrid, and considering the height advantage in which Liverpool did have, it's absolutely mad. I still think it'll work. Plus, I did think the downfall from the wide areas rather than where's this gone? Rather than the centre forward striker. Yeah, Liverpool, and we all know Liverpool's game has very much evolved. Not past Bobby Firmino, but we've seen over the last 12 months Liverpool's reliance on obviously bringing Jota in from Wolves, Mane through the middle. Yes, Bobby's been hit and miss in relation, but that's due to his injuries throughout this season. And his form potentially has not gone off a cliff, because you know what you're going to get with Bobby, and that's 100% attitude, and he'll try his best. But it'd be interesting to see where his position in terms of Liverpool's squad is next season. It wouldn't surprise me if he does start or the majority of the games up front, because I still think he could potentially still do a job. But in terms of goals, title-winning goals, in terms of games that are tight, those draws in the league, those games we're talking about, and obviously the Champions League, we've lost like four games in a 64-game calendar season, and you've come away with 2 trophies, which is absolutely fantastic. But to small margins, and that's the elite level football. And when you are playing against Manchester City, it's those small margins, whether you're like Harry Kane or Lewandowski. And on Saturday, you just need those players that have got that experience, most importantly, as well, the big occasions. It does feel a false 9 is becoming more frequent in teams as well. Yeah, because it more or less worked for Liverpool as well, most importantly, and Manchester City. two of the best teams in European football. City won the league without a recognised striker. Obviously, Gabriel Jesus turned into prime Pele when he got linked with Arsenal, and then he's performed so well since the rumours come out about Haaland, and when he's obviously got Julian Alvarez, is he? Obviously, he's been on loan. Obviously, they signed him and then loaned him back out to River Plate, didn't he? His parent club. So it's going to be mad. I think Andrew's gone with a 4-2-3-1 next season. Carvalho, Cam, Salah right wing, Diaz. It'll be interesting, Andrew. And as I said, I don't know the answers. We'll just discuss anyway. But that's why I'm more interested in all your opinions. And as I said, it's not just an important year for Liverpool, but a lot of teams in Europe. Whether that be Bayern, Real Madrid as well, they will improve. We'll speak about Mane and Liverpool's midfield options tomorrow. If you want to believe the tap-in merchant for Brazil, he was reporting today that the fee of 80 million has been agreed with Real Madrid with 20 million plus add-ons, and that will take it up to, I don't know if it's 100%, I don't know if it's 100%, 100 million British pounds or 100 million euros. But he's a tremendous player. Not to say it's seen a lot of Monaco because I haven't. I don't. The only time I do watch French league football is when I've got them on an acca. So if you've got them, I'll watch them anyway. And obviously the European games, I do tend to watch a lot of Champions League games if Liverpool aren't playing, most importantly. Even the Reds as well, the 80s Reds. Thank you for tuning in, mate. Really do appreciate it. Absolutely bloody legend. Jack, how do you rate Fabio Carvalho? He doesn't look like any 19-year-old to me. He looks brilliant. Lots of flair, control, and pace. Yeah, I was speaking to my good mate Luke from the 1892 Reds podcast, and he's got a lot of Fulham season ticket holder mates, and they've seen a lot more of him, especially this season, where he's rise to prominence really in that Fulham team. I think he got like 10 goals, 9 assists. Or sitting in and around that. Yes, you can say it's the Championship, and Mitrovic turned into David and Gog, if you want to say, when he's in the Premier League. Say what, if Mitrovic took that form into the Premier League, 50 million striker right there, but we all know he won't. Probably get about 2 goals all season for Fulham and then get them relegated. But yeah, 80s Red. It's intriguing. I think I've seen a lot of highlights, and I will emphasise highlights, and his goals and assists. He's, as you said there, mate, he's got a lot of control. As I was saying about Luke's Fulham mates, supposedly, they rate him as a bigger prospect than Harvey Elliott. And if that is the case, if he's a bigger player, or he's got more potential than Harvey Elliott, then Christ. We have got one player on our hands. If that is the case, that would be absolutely phenomenal. I'm excited to see him, mate. As we know, Jurgen Klopp, he doesn't tend to throw in players. We've seen with Robson when he came into Liverpool. It was only due to an Alberto Moreno injury, in which he did get Klopp threw Robbo in and took him back out, and then left him for a couple of months or a couple of weeks, and then we've seen Andy Robbo be Andy Robbo over the last 3 to 4 years now as well. So, and similar players within Liverpool's team as well to get brought in. I don't think we'll see Carvalho put in 100%, mate, in terms of the games, but it wouldn't surprise me. It depends how good his pre-season is. If Jurgen Klopp believes in him, I'll tell you what, we've seen Harvey Elliott, an 18-year-old, 17, 18-year-old at the beginning of the season. I don't think any of us would have anticipated. You all know Harvey's got quality, but I don't think we all would have anticipated the sheer impact in which he would have had on the beginning of the season, where he was like getting ahead of Ox, getting ahead of a Naby as well, and certain players within that Liverpool midfield. But as I said, mate, and we all know, even Jürgen's time at Borussia Dortmund, if you're good enough, it doesn't matter how old you are, Jurgen Klopp is the best manager in European football to, and Pep to an extent. I know he does like to spend his money, but both managers know how to get the best out of the players. That's the one thing a lot of the managers within English football and around Europe, they buy players, then you don't develop them in terms to better players. as well. That's what managers and probably ideally a lot of the club's owners want. They want a return on investment and any potential investment, mate. But I'm excited, mate. Probably one of the big positives. That's a guaranteed sign that Liverpool have already signed. Obviously, once the window does open, Fabio Carvalho will be a first name on the team sheet anyway. Well, first name on the transfer committee's tick list anyway, because he's done. Darwin is also linked with us. I don't want him. Two reasons. His link-up play with midfield. And second is at his first touch. He is great with two up runs. So that does mean whoever gets him needs to change as well. It'd be interesting, Maisie. And speaking of Darwin Nunez, as we were saying before, we'll have a little look in terms of statistical analysis, really. We'll have a quick look in terms of where's the top 5 leagues? Not that one. Apologies, that one. But we've already had a look at Christopher Nkunku. As we said, we've had a little look at Sadio Mane in relation to that as well. We'll have a quick look at Robert Lewandowski in a bit. We all know his numbers, but in terms of Darwin Nunez chat as well, let me know your thoughts. But will it be an unknown quantity that Liverpool bring in? Someone that we've not looked at? As I said, something similar with Fabinho or that. But in terms of relation to Darwin Nunez this season, on the right-hand side, these are the similar plays in terms of statistical analysis, really. Better at using easy. Randall at Nates as well. Brozier, obviously from Southampton, the on loan Chelsea attacker. So he's a big physical presence. We all know that. In terms of his goals and assists this season, he's obviously played 28 games in the Premier League at Portuguese, registering 26 goals, 4 assists as well. And his Champions League record this season was absolutely phenomenal, considering the group in which Liverpool did have. Porto did have as well, and obviously the teams in which he did face as well. So it's not been too bad of a season for Darwin. And at the age, it's a massive one here. When you do sign players, his age, 22 years, he's come close to 30, 23 years old anyway. He's a forward. He's 6'1.5". Still, so he's more or less stopped growing at that age. I think I stopped growing about age 10. I'm far too small. But in terms of statistical percentile as well, non-penalty goals in the whole of Europe, he's in the 97%, top 3% in European football in terms of the top 5 leagues as well. Progressive carries. This is an interesting statistical stat as well. He's in the top 9% in the whole of Europe. How's progressive carries in terms of the way in which he does distribute. And for such a big lad, in terms of 6'1", 6'2", he's up there in one of the top elite level players as well. Top 12% in the whole of Europe in comparison to forwards. So this is all compared to forwards in European football. In the out-and-out forwards, touches as well. Interceptions is a massive factor. And as we said, in relation to playing for Liverpool Football Club, we've spoken about how well Bobby Firmino did when he was at his peak Liverpool form. His progressive interceptions, and Darwin Nunez, 81% percentile in terms of forwards in European football. Interceptions, the press from a Liverpool forward, that would be an interesting statistical wise as well. Bit disappointing in terms of his aerial duels, but as I said, paying 90, he gets a 2 point. He makes 2.5 aerial wins as well. So it's interesting, absolutely spot on there. His build-up play, not the best, but he's still 22, 20 odd years. 22 years old anyway. So we've still got a lot of time to go as well. And we'll just go into the quick 2 plays as well, everyone, before we do get to everyone's comments. And we do shoot off tonight as well, everyone. I know a lot of you probably Not everyone, because we all know Harry Kane, and I can understand where people are coming from with Harry Kane on one aspect in terms of his injury record, but it's the money. The money in terms of Tottenham Hotspur, you will not allow him to go cheaply. And for me, Harry Kane, if he was to come to Liverpool, he'd be looking at Manchester City and be like, right, yeah, you just didn't believe in me. You just didn't go in. Obviously, he went out and got Grealish and didn't really back up. Obviously, if Pep Guardiola wanted him so desperately and he believed in Harry Kane, I think he would have paid 150. Would have been crazy money. But I think Harry Kane in a Manchester City system and even in a Liverpool system would be absolutely phenomenal. And in terms of that's Darwin Nunez, apologies to everyone. But Harry Kane, we all know his stats in the Premier League since he's been obviously a youngster. I think he was on the youth bench as well for Leicester as well, and in his very early years as well, which is absolutely quite frightening, really. He used to play for Leicester. I think he was on loan, or he's for certain other clubs within the Premier League as well. But those stats speak for themselves as well. Similar players, we all know Gerard Menino, as we've already played against him. But as I said, Erling Haaland is probably the biggest comparison in terms of world football, in terms of how good both players are, in terms of holding the ball up, bringing players into play. And especially when you've looked at, and we've all watched, whether you watched Tottenham on Match of the Day or if you've seen them this season or the last couple of seasons, imagine if Harry Kane was bringing in the likes of Salah in, Diaz into the game, Jota, he is playing on the left within a certain game. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'd absolutely love it. I know his ankles are gone. And he's one. A lot of people have said he's one injury away from potentially doing even more serious damage to himself. But let me know your thoughts on that, chat. It's interesting. And hopefully I will be getting a lot of views on the shows as well. If you'd like to come on, and it's a massive talking point. But it will be interesting to see who Liverpool do go for in relation to that as well, chat. But let me know, chat, as well. Change formation. Anyone who's upgrade for us, I can't be fussy. Yeah, amazing as well. Obviously losing Cavani as well, Manchester United. This is the best time. 100%, Rod. This is the best time, mate. Best time to sign them. Watch the parade. It will help you get over it. There you go, John. As I said, Haaland scored 9 goals in one match at the Under-20 World Cup. It's absolutely staggering, isn't it? I don't know what they feed the Scandinavians, a load of bacon, or they feed Scandinavians. They've got a couple of Scandinavian mates anyway, and they are like the massive, about 6'3", 6'5". It's in the genetics, really, of Scandinavians, isn't it? The Vikings, the Viking genes, anyway. He's a freak of nature, but in a good way, because he doesn't move like a stereotypical footballer, and the way in which he strikes a ball, and the way in which, I know everyone takes the mickey out of the way in which he runs, but he's so quick over the ground. It's scary, man. Absolutely scary. Musiala, apologies about pronunciation, everyone. It was before he went to Bayern. Mbappe, not as well. Interesting. Liverpool play Tranmere next season. I'll meet you for a few pints potentially. Yeah, Mike. Tranmere is about 45 an hour. Obviously, it's in the Wirral. That's not proper Liverpool, that. But mate, yeah, definitely, mate. I have to meet up for a pint as well. Big up Jack, Ravi as well. Mane is gone, mate. Yeah, we all know that, mate. Yeah, Ravi, absolute legends. Thank you for all the continued support, mate, as well. Nina, hiya, Jack. How are you? Not too bad. Thank you very much. Hopefully, you all look after yourself, Nina, as well. Having a lovely night. And as you can tell, everyone, apologies about my groggy voice. Need some more lemon sips. I drank far too much bevy on Liverpool's Albert Docks. I was somewhere in the midst of all that smoke, and I've got asthma, so it wasn't the best. I was constantly doing like that, which wasn't good, but I know it was a tremendous day. But yes, mate, as well. Yes, we'll have you, mate. I'll be back on the 2nd of August. John, you better be as well. And it was good to see you, mate. And made up to see you, fella. Me wee man. I love Scottish people. Me wee man, John. I can just envision John speaking now. Me wee man wants to find. Come say hey to your mum and dad. Thanks. To tuck them, mate, as well. No, you're more than welcome, mate. You're a good mate, and that's the beauty of doing YouTube as well. Hopefully, you don't have to be a Liverpool fan, but hopefully in the future, next season, obviously the last 2 years have been really difficult for not just me, but for every single one of you, or even just people in general in the world. But it's good that we can potentially, fingers crossed, now in the next couple of years, go on about our lives properly and see one another and do collaborations as well. It'd be fantastic, mate. But you're very welcome, John. And so hope your wee lad had a good time as well. He absolutely battered me on bowling, mate. So I'll tell you what. No, thank God, no one. I think my Instagram's private, but thank God, because my bowling was shit. I'm not the best at bowling. But yeah, no, John will definitely meet up. Lewis Lewandowski is 33. Would you rather Kane? Obviously, Kane's 29. Let's quickly get that up. Kane's 29, 30 years old. Lord Harold Kane. Harry Kane is 28. Yeah, he's 29 this coming year anyway. So, yeah, I understand where you come from, mate. And Kane's got to start winning trophies, hasn't he? I know we all take the mickey out of Spurs fans, but he's an Arsenal lad anyway. You grew up an Arsenal fan, would you believe it? There's images of him in an Arsenal kit anyway. The only reason I potentially take Lewandowski over Kane was what he's done at the European elite level, mate. I understand in terms of when you analyse a transfer and he's a bit more younger and you potentially got more slight 2-3 years out of Harry Kane, 100%, mate. But I've loved them both. And I'd love nothing more. Nothing to give me more confidence. And I know for a fact, chat as well, let me know your thoughts. Pep Guardiola would be pulling out his hair if he had any, if Liverpool did go out and sign a Lewandowski or a Harry Kane as well. But absolute legends. I'll tell you who's a good striker. Could be Jonathan David from Lille as well. Interesting. He's done absolutely tremendous for Canada as well, hasn't he? In relation to that. So interesting there, mate. He'd be a player to watch. I'm surprised not a lot of teams are coming in for him. But as we've seen with Lille and the French League, Nicolas Pepe come from French League football, and the fact that Arsenal paid 70, 80 million for him is an absolute joke anyway. I don't think anyone wants to do deals with Lille after that transfer, but it would be interesting, Maisie, especially if he wants to be more recognised within European football. No disrespect to Lille, but if he can get that bigger transfer, I think potentially a potential transfer for Newcastle, a player of that, a young profile, and a player that's got something to prove. And no better league than to prove to world football that you're a good player is the Premier League. Tom, Salah done us no favours with his I'm looking for revenge statements to Madrid team. Don't try to intimidate anybody before a fight. That's nonsense. I intimidate people by hitting them. That's Mike Tyson. Yeah, Tom. And we all said the chat, didn't we, as well? We were all like, what are you doing, Mo? What are you doing, Mo? What are you doing? Like so many times, and we knew. And obviously with Salah coming off in the final against Chelsea in the FA Cup final, and we're like, yes, sounds. Salah's given it a big one. We're expecting a hat-trick come Saturday night. Salah tried his best, but it wasn't good enough. Like in reality, not just Salah, but a lot of players. Sometimes you need your own luck, but you create your own luck. And within that certain moments within that game, we were like, "What are we doing?" Yeah, I wish I knew, Tom, but you 100% agree with it, mate. Downfield Lark, Mane will realise the grass isn't greener in a few years. Downfield Lark, hopefully back home safe as well, mate. I know you did go over to the game, and obviously amazing content. If you haven't, head over to the Anfield Larks channel anyway, everyone. He's got a load of subscribers anyway, mate. But thank you for tuning in, every single one of you. But go and check out his. You will, yeah. Quickly, I'll try and drop his. If you want, matey, he's got a lot of great videos, obviously, in relation to obviously the night. Obviously, the build up was absolutely shocking, and that's another show for another night. And it's, don't get me started because I'll absolutely fume. But the Anfield Larks got so much great content on his channel. Everyone head over, and obviously a lot of the match game videos as well. But appreciate it, mate. But 100%, mate. The grass is not green on the other side as well. Spider, how you doing, fella? Absolute legend. Hope you're home safe as well, mate. I know you did come over to come over to Liverpool. Of course, I didn't see you, but there was that many bloody people in Liverpool. It was absolute chock-a-blocker. It was madness, mate. But how you doing, Zuki, as well? Before as well. So, lad, off to work now. Enjoy your night, everyone. Rod, safe travels, mate. Have a great day in work, fella. Really appreciate you tuning in, mate. And I will be live tomorrow as well. So stay tuned on the channel. If you don't get any notifications, I will be getting a rocket up my backside. I'll be more consistent, especially going to next season as well. But Rods, have a lovely rest of your day, mate. So if anyone's going to work tomorrow or morning, whatnot, if you work nights or in the morning, or if you are watching this on repeat, have a lovely rest of your day as well, Rods. Nice one, matey. Was on the wrong account. Oh, Spider. Oh, he's got so many bloody accounts, lads. Yeah, 99 mates as well. Nice one, Tom. Everest as well. Watching all the way from India. Absolute bloody legend, mate. Morning, lads and ladies. Need to head off to work early, so I can't stay. Have a great stream, Jack. Everest, thank you for the continued. As I said at the top of the show, if you're watching on the repeats, every single one of you, thank you so much for the support. Not just this season, but the last couple of years. I'm hopefully got big things planned next season and try my utmost to try and improve the channel in every aspect. And that comes most importantly from me, doing my shows, my preparation and my post-match reactions as well. I'm not perfect at all. I want to improve in every aspect and obviously hopefully get a lot more guests on as well with more and better insight than me on a post-match. But yeah, thank you very much, mate, and have a good night. Good day in work, mate, as well. Look after yourself, fella. Managed to lift my head for a couple of hours. Note to self. Then the doc tells you not to travel with a virus. You listen and finish your antibiotics. Look after yourself, fella, as well. Look at health before anything. Health is wealth, as you say, mate. Look after yourself, mate. Yeah, that's the only thing. You're getting more years out of Kane. Yeah, spot on there, Lewis, innit? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a mad season, as I said at the top of the show. I think all of us can't wait until the day the transfer window slams shut. Hopefully, by the end of when the transfer window does officially open, Liverpool have got their business sorted. As we all know, Jurgen Klopp knows on his best bits in terms of he likes to get his transfers in very early on. We've seen that with Ibu Konate as well in the window just gone straight in. We knew straight away that we were getting him, and he come into the club and he settled really quick because there's nothing more we want. Pre-season is massively underplayed by us fans, but I think managers, there's no more important part within a season, and Jurgen Klopp stresses it himself the most. Pre-season, the last 2 years have been difficult for not just Liverpool, but a lot of clubs around Europe as well, in terms of the preparation and going into games. But it'd be interesting. Salah said a lot of stupid things like that. When the quad question got asked, he said, yeah, I think about the quad every other player. And the Klopp said, no, we don't think of the quad. We just think of the next game. Yeah, Lewis, it's all like me, you, or chat, and everyone. I know speaking in forums or on Twitter and all that. It sounds us because we're fans. We can dream. But as I said, hopefully he's learned that lesson. But sometimes Salah, and I think we can all agree, is too honest sometimes in interviews. But he probably gets that off his agent, doesn't he? The way he just comes out with a little shite sometimes. I do love his confidence, though. But if you're going to say at least scoring a Champions League final, again, no, he scored in the Champions League final against Spurs. That was a penalty as well. I had to miss the parade and fly home 2 days early. Bloody hell, lad. But as I said, look after yourself, fella. And I will be seeing you and hopefully a lot more of you going to next season or this summer, potentially. A lot more in person as well. I think Luke and the lads were a bit tired of me, like for the last couple of days. A couple of them stayed in ours, quite thankfully as well. They were sick of me by the end of Monday. They were like, get me home. Feck Kane, Feck Lewandowski. I'll take Son all day long over both of them. I'd agree with you there, mate. But I think Kane's got 2 years left on his contract. And I think Daniel Levy, we all know how much of a difficult customer he is to deal with, not just Liverpool, but when you look at obviously Gareth Bale when he went to Real Madrid, even Luka Modric when he went to Madrid as well. He never drive an easy bargain. And he's their prized possession, really, him and Son. But yeah, the Liverpool players, I think we all remember that Trent interview a couple of months ago when he spoke about the two players that he'd love to see Liverpool sign if he didn't play for the rivals. And Trent said, and I think a lot of Liverpool's players, if you'd asked him, it's Son, number one, Son and Kevin De Bruyne. Trent was quoted as saying Kevin De Bruyne and Son would be the two players he'd go on and sign. Something needs refreshing in there. I knew eventually either one of Salah or Mane would want to leave because of other. Kane will be 57 million mid now. Be interesting spider in it, especially if they do go into the last 12 months. I don't think Daniel Levy. It's not like if Kane did go on a free. Similar, what age would he be now? He's 20. He's 29, 20, 30 now. If he did a 32, similar with Mane, similar with Salah, these players are elite level athletes, and especially the sports science and behind football now that you don't have to look at Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I know he's not the old Zlatan when he was about 20, 25, his peak Barcelona days and Paris Saint-Germain as well. And as in today's as well, he's a youngster, and even Ajax, he's been all over the bloody place, Zlatan, we all know that. But Kane's form will not drop off a cliff. Right? He's not a player that heavily relies on pace. He relies on his movements and his in-game intelligence as well. 100% agree with it as well, mate. But Spider as well, Lewis, Everest, Tom, Rod, Zuki, the Anfield Lark as well, Maisie, absolute legends, Nina as well. Thank you, every single one of you for tuning in. Mike as well, Andrew, and as well, and every single one of you. If you are watching this on repeat, most importantly, let me know and let chat know as well in the comments. Who do you think potentially would be Liverpool's most ideal striker / centre forward going to next season if Sadio Mane does leave Liverpool Football Club this summer? Looking like he will be. But Reds, I'm gonna give you a rest. Most importantly, to what you've had 58 minutes. That's enough for me, and my voice will be gone, so I need to recover it. But thank you to every single one of you if you are watching on a repeat or if you are watching on live as well. Absolute bloody legends. Have a lovely rest of your night. Look after yourself, and I will see you tomorrow for another episode as well. We never walk alone, and look after yourself, everyone. As I said, Spider as well. Look after yourself. Recover well as well, mate. Every single one of you, have a lovely rest of your night. I'll see you tomorrow for another episode. So that, mate, my voice is going either ways. Sorry.